Hello, and welcome to One Cool Thing, PC Mag's daily show where we show you one cool thing that we've been testing out here in PC Labs. I'm Tom Brandt, this is Michael Muchmore, and we're about to show you a new thing called Apple Pay Cash. It's not Apple Pay, it's Apple Pay Cash. Now, before we get into what all that is, I just want to let you know that if you're watching us on Facebook during the live show, please do put your questions in the comments. Social Zach will read them to us, and we will definitely, answer them for you. If you're watching later on YouTube, you can also subscribe to our channel, and you'll get notified the next time we have a show for you. So, Michael, what exactly is Apple Pay Cash?
I didn't understand any of that.
I thought Apple Pay has already been around.
Yeah,
for years.
Apple Pay has been around for a couple of years since I think 8.1, iOS 8.1. But now, starting with iOS 11.2, we have Apple Pay Cash. And the difference between that is with Apple Pay, you could go into a store and your wallet app, hold the hand down, or I guess show your face if you have an iPhone X, and then pay the merchant. But with this, you can now pay contacts in messages. And you can actually maintain a balance. So it's almost like having an account as opposed to just having a conduit for money to go from your cards to the merchant.
Now, how do you set this up? I mean, if someone's already been using their Apple Wallet to board a flight or to pay for a Starbucks drink,
right?
Is there anything, so how does this work?
All right, well, the first thing you have to do is you have to update to iOS 11.2. And next, the part that I had not already had set up was you need two-factor authentication set up too. So on your Apple ID account, for me, that was like probably the biggest problem with setup. You had some other issues with setup.
Yeah, so I will say, so we were trying to figure this out a while ago, and because Apple Pay Cash is involves sending money, which is something that you haven't been able to do in iMessage before, there's a bunch of different security issues that you have to go through. Two-factor authentication was one. You have to make sure that you add a debit card. So that you can receive,
Well, actually, you can do it with just, I only have a credit card on mine. And so I can pay from that. Now, the difference is if you pay from a credit card, you're gonna have a 3% transaction fee from the credit card company. If you set it up with an ATM card, there's no transaction fee. The money is just coming from your account into whoever you're paying.
And so we actually have, if you go to our review at PCMag.com, you'll actually see, we have some screenshots here of that process of how you can add, and it will actually show you when you go to the settings page, it will show you the cards you already have in your account to use them with Apple Pay Cash.
All right, I mean, another way to just start doing it is if you go into the Messages app, you hit the A for the apps. Are you showing us? Are you showing the screen? Okay, cool. So, and then you see this little Apple Pay icon, and now, if he had not set it up already, there'd be a prompt to set it up, and you would go into you'd have to have your two-factor, and you'd go into settings and then turn on Apple Pay Cash with that slider there.
Now, okay, so we're gonna do a demo of this, so I guess I will then send you $1. This is using Apple Pay Cash here. So I have the iMessage on this iPad, and I'm gonna go back to Apps, Apple Pay, and then I can increase or decrease the amount. What's the minimum is $1.
$1, right? Yeah.
Okay, so I'll send you the minimum.
Other payments, Venmo lets you do less than $1.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do that here. Pay.
And now here goes the message.
So this puts like anything else that you could add in iMessages. I can add a comment here if I want, or I can just hit the up button and it will send this. And it's showing that I have my bank account linked here. Pay with passcode. So I'm going to enter in the passcode for this.
Right. For a phone, you would just put your thumbprint or your face on an X.
And then
hopefully I get some money.
Okay, and then
so let's see. Is anything on my phone? Yeah. See, I got $1.
Okay.
Cool. So now I have to accept this. It hasn't. It doesn't go through until I. Actually, no, I got it right away that time. Okay. Yeah. And if you try to send, and here's the other thing, if you try to send it to someone who hasn't, the other person has to have all this set up as well with the two-factor and the allowing it. If they don't, you'll get a message on the iPad or whatever you're sending from, will saying this so-and-so cannot receive Apple Pay Cash at this time. Same thing will happen if you try sending it to an Android phone or a Windows phone.
Right. So now, if you're just joining us, we are demoing the new Apple Pay Cash feature, which lets you send money between people who both have iOS devices or Mac OS. Definitely ask us your questions in the comments. Where we're at now is I've just sent $1 to Michael.
Right.
Now what's going? Oh, well, first, let's see. Do we have any questions? We're good at this point.
We're good.
Okay. So.
So the other thing is, so I don't know if you probably can't see this because we're not set up on the screen for this. Because anyway, I go into my Apple Wallet now, the wallet app where I can have my baseball tickets and my train cards and all that stuff. But that's where the Apple Wallet is, where your like Visa card or whatever lives as well. But now, since I set this up, I have a Pay Cash, a very cool Apple Card, virtual card there. And you can see when you move it, it changes color. It's kind of a cool logo it has. But anyway, so now I have $5. You probably can't see it. Can you see it? But I have $5 in my Apple Pay Cash card. So so those are like the two places where you really interact with Apple Pay Cash, is in Messages and in your wallet. And that $5 that's in my wallet, I could use that to pay at a store as well. I could use that anywhere I would use Apple Pay, even though it's Apple Pay Cash.
Right. So there isn't really that much of a distinction between the funds in your Apple Pay Cash account.
Right. It's just another source of money that I can use from Apple Pay. But I add this benefit of being able to peer-to-peer payments to my other iMessage using, who have set up all of this, friends.
Right. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a question.
Can we transfer that money back to our bank account?
You can. Now, but for that, I can't on mine because I only have a credit card. For some reason, I just have, I think it's a Visa card attached to my Apple Wallet. But if you hook up an ATM card, or bank debit card, you can put the money deliver the money into there.
Now, and we should note that if you do choose to only use this with a credit card, you're going to have a 3% fee for every transaction. This is not a way to generate free money, basically. You cannot use this as a way to get around your cash advance fees on your credit card. It's something that, that fee is something that you'll pay regardless of which provider you're using. Venmo also charges you a fee to send money from credit cards. So really, this is just, there's nothing revolutionary here in terms of payment sources. The debit cards, credit cards, and bank accounts are still working the same way with Apple Pay Cash that they're working with any other provider.
Now, yeah, question?
So do the payments go straight to the linked bank account, or does it sit somewhere in a balance?
That's the whole deal with Apple Pay Cash. The money sits in that Apple Pay Cash. And what Apple actually has, there's a bank called Green Dot Bank that sort of hosts the money for Apple. So yeah, the money will not directly go back into your account. You have to tell it to. And if like me, you only have a credit card, you won't be able to send. I can't send this $5 in my Apple Pay Cash card into my credit account, only into a bank account.
Right. So now, so we've sent $1 here. I've sent $1 to Michael. I also sent Michael $1 yesterday.
You did? No, you didn't.
Yeah, because you remember you walked my robot dog and picked up its metallic poop. So I paid you for that. So now, so I've sent him $2. So now what we're going to do is have you send back those $2.
So you can see on the screen how it looks when you receive money. So I will make it $2. And I will hit pay.
And actually, before you do that, let's. And so you can see now here on the screen, it's showing the Apple Pay bubble, showing that he's getting ready to send. Okay.
I haven't seen that. You want me to make a little comment?
And then you can add comments to the message so that the recipient knows what it's for.
Right. You ready?
Kind of like in Venmo.
You ready?
Okay.
All right. $2 coming your way. So now I have to okay it with my thumbprint, just as he entered his PIN. Come on, thumb. And it get the little nice haptic feedback that it went.
Okay.
You didn't get it?
Okay. And then so
that's good.
As you can see on the screen, we have the $2 in the recipient, or in the recipient column. And what I can do then is tap on it, and
does that open your?
That shows you the setting. That shows you the transaction. Now, how do I actually transfer this back to my bank?
So you would have to go into your wallet app.
Okay. So we'll go into the wallet here.
Where's the wallet? Where's the wallet? Search on wallet. Did
Okay,
you not? You have to have set up a wallet, right?
We'll
search.
We'll search for wallet. Okay.
Huh.
Wallet. Walleye.
Walleye.
Wallet and Apple Pay. There's the settings.
Oh, that's weird.
So okay, so
what
here
if
it
you click
shows.
on
It
that?
shows now. It shows I have a
Apple Pay cash.
$2 in the Apple Pay cash.
Yeah, it's a little different on the iPad, I guess.
And you can transfer to bank, although I don't actually have a bank account set up right now. So in order to get that I will have to add a bank account. But that process, I assume, is fairly easy. Let's go ahead and take a question.
I mean, maybe Wallet is only an iPhone thing.
Will it work with Green Dot prepaid cards?
So no. So this is as we were mentioning, Green Dot is the bank that
Actually, Tom,
that services this.
You can add money from like a gift credit card into these. They're gift cash cards. They're not credit cards.
But the Green Dot cards that you buy at CVS or your local drugstore, those are usually specific to Green Dot has their own branded version of prepaid cards, and those.
But you would have to add that to your Apple Wallet just like any other card, I think.
If it is in fact a prepaid bank card or something, then you could add that as a funding source. But Green Dot is really just behind the transactions. It's not actually facilitating these in iMessage.
Any more questions? Yeah.
So why would I use this over something like, say, Venmo if I'm restricted?
This is exactly fantastic question. This is exactly what our next topic was going to be, because we haven't really talked about the competitors out there, and there are a few, and obviously Venmo is a big one. Facebook Messenger has a really simple peer-to-peer payment, which is actually my favorite too, because you don't have to have another separate app installed. Most people already have Facebook Messenger, and if you just hit pay in there, the same thing you added, Tom did it yesterday, you add a card to that, it took like a few minutes. It's a less arduous setup, and it works with anyone on any device. This is only working with Apple devices. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I think that having used Venmo and iMessage to send payments, that is one of the big limitations of sending a payment in iMessage. It really is only for iMessage. You can't do this on your.
I mean, if everyone you pay has an iPhone or an iPad, then fine. But some people have Androids; they really do.
Right,
I've seen them.
And as you were mentioning before, there are billions of people that use Android that use Facebook Messenger on mobile. So they have that Messenger app installed.
And you can do it on your computer, on the web browser. The same for like Google Wallet is also very cross-platform. Venmo, I'm not sure if you can do that in the web, but it's obviously cross-platform.
Right.
The other thing about Venmo, which to me is a minus, is a con, is that it's basically a social network of what money you pay. So by default, when you set up Venmo, any of your contacts can see everyone you paid. Mm-hmm. And to me, I don't think that's great.
Right, and this provides the same functionality without that public atmosphere. Let's go ahead and take another question.
How safe is it?
I mean, the dual-factor authentication. Apple is super intense on security. I mean, I think it's probably safer than using a credit card. It's definitely safer than our security experts can tell you about that stuff. But the Apple payment systems are really secure.
Now, does this work in a similar way? So with regular Apple Pay, when you link a credit card or a debit card to regular Apple Pay and you go and use that in the store, it actually never transmits your credit card details. It generates a separate key for each transaction and uses that to send the funds. Is that how this works too? I
believe this is the same thing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, this is Apple Pay Cash to send money between you and your friends only with iMessage. We've kind of walked you through how the back and forth payments work. You can check out the full review at pcmag.com to see how to set this up on your Apple devices. Note that we've been using it with an iPhone and an iPad, but it also works on the Apple Watch and the
newest Macs with the touch bar.
Right, the newest Macs that have that touch bar.
You could set it up with a Mac if you're connecting it to your phone, but it's the same, that you need proximity of the phone. You're basically just using the phone for the payment in that, same as you use messages on a Mac. But forget about Windows, forget about Android.
Yeah, so basically, if you live in the walled garden of Apple and want to send money within it, this is the way to do it.
I mean, a lot of people will be able to.
So. Again, check their full review at pcmag.com and Thanks very much for watching. We will be back on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with yet another one cool thing for you on Facebook Live. Thanks very much for watching. Have a good weekend.